Welcome everyone to this week's ECONversations Podcast. Glad you could join us. Obviously, we have a very special occasion today. It is Grant Taylor's last day with us. So we're going to honor Grant, but we're glad to be joined today by obviously the one and only Grant Taylor. We also have Justin Kirk is joining us at the City of Lake Elsinore, who's going to be filling those very large shoes of Mr. Taylor's. We're glad to have him with us. We have Gina Gonzales, the City of Menifee, Scott Agajanian with the City of Murrieta, and Kimberly Davidson with the City of Wildomar. And I thought we had lost Grant there for just a second. So
I had my staff looking in my door going,
that's all right.
What is going on in there?
Just tell your staff I'll send this to them right away. So I am first going to share my screen because I want to share something with everyone. And hopefully you should be able to hear this. But
oh my God.
Aw.
Oh God.
Look at how tall you are, Grant. You're like towering over everybody. Well, now I hear music.
there you go, Grant.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. I've forgotten all those.
All right, it's starting over, so I'll figure out how to stop this. There we go.
Oh,
All right.
God. That was,
You're gonna miss us.
I am.
You'll have to come back and be the Wilson every now and then.
There we go. Yeah, pop in every now between surfing trips, make a guest appearance.
So Grant, so what has it been like in economic development in your career, and especially in Lake Elsinore, and the kind of what is it the impact been for you personally, and kind of what do you take away from it?
It's I've been here about 7.5 years now. 33 years, 5 cities, a county, the private sector, community development and economic development in most of the cities, and it's been the most rewarding here in Lake Elsinore, hands down. We've accomplished some good things. Got a Walmart superstore, a Honda dealership, dozens and dozens of new businesses, smaller businesses. It just got better and better every year. When I first came to Elsinore, I don't think we were looked upon favorably, but going to ICSC in recent years, they go, oh, you guys have come a long ways. They want to meet with us, partner with us, and it's been a good tour of duty here. It has. I'll miss you guys. I'll miss the team, but sleeping late and getting up and surfing every day doesn't sound that bad. So.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Yeah, you have a phenomenal team over there. That's for sure. I know you and I talked about that a lot.
I'm fortunate. There's not enough of us. I hope my city manager's listening. We do more with less. Justin's been great. We've worked together for 13 years in 2 different cities. So the city's in good hands. He may inherit a lot of chaos and helter-skelter, but he's the man to handle it. So the city will be just fine, especially once the election smoke clears.
Of course. Well, I'll be the first to congratulate you and cheers to you, Grant, on your retirement. So,
thank you, sir.
I only have water, but it's ice water.
Mine's just apple juice.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I believe you, Patrick. I'm gonna head over there and taste that.
Yeah.
As a region, we've done a lot. It's been great, the collaboration with everybody. It wasn't always that way in a lot of cities I was in. There was a lot of competition, cutthroat, and working together with you guys has really been great. I think we've given a good shout out to our region, show that we have a lot to offer here, and hopefully this coronavirus plague will end someday and we can really gear up the economic development again.
Someday it will end, yes.
Gosh, please soon.
Please, September 8th.
That's what I hear. We're going to open the doors again. We'll see. Don't the numbers always spike after a holiday? And that's right after the end of summer party holiday. Yeah, we'll see.
Grant, I see that you're desperately trying to change the subject off of yourself, but we're not going to let that happen. I mean, today is
failing miserably.
Yeah,
Scott.
the small talk is going nowhere, guys. Let's really focus on the fact that we've got a guy who's worked down in this valley for almost 8 years, but has a long career of city building and has done an amazing job with Lake Elsinore. I think you've not taken enough credit. Today's the day to take credit. Let everyone know it's not about anyone else. It's not about a great team. This is about Grant Taylor, who's done a fantastic job. I have not seen anybody command a room. When you walk into ICSE, you are like Magic Johnson. You can see over all of the defenders and you get right to the first.
Because he's 9 feet tall.
He's 9 feet tall. His size 22 shoes, stomping people out of the way. But one thing you've always done, you've done it every single day with a smile. You have been absolutely the most gregarious, kind person that I've ever seen out there. You are just an absolute giant amongst men.
Well, thank you, sir.
So, and Rob Moran.
Speaking
Even
of
Rob
giant
Moran
among
wouldn't
men.
miss this.
Rob, hey.
See,
Wow.
the Irish Catholic
About
guilt
time,
work.
Wilson.
This
And you're on mute.
Excellent guilt trip, Patrick. It worked.
I learned it from the best, my mom.
I'm only here for Grant.
I know.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing great. I brought the assistant director, Justin Kirk's, with us too. He'll be
All right.
into my chair. Yeah, my teammate for 13 years. Been quite a tour of duty.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
missed
Kyrie.
you missed the video, Rob. You'll have to catch that on the replay.
Oh, another time.
You know, Grant, don't you think about, because whenever I think about maybe you like on the days that I get frustrated and I think, why do I even do this job? But then I think about if not doing this job, like not being in the know, not knowing what they're building or not, is that going to bother you or not at all? It doesn't bother me.
Well, I still live in the city, so I'm sure I'll still have my finger on the pulse. I'll be seeing what's going on. I know who to call. I know I can pester Justin anytime. I got his cell phone on speed dial. So.
Poor Justin.
Hey, the council, you know, they got to be nice to me, or I might be on the other side of the podium some nights.
You get your 3 minutes.
That'll be the fun. Go back and do your 3 minutes every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm just glad the way the city's progressed. Wife and I made a choice to buy a retirement home here. Don't regret it. It's great. It's all good.
See, I think that speaks volumes right there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even after almost getting burned up in the holy fire and then getting washed away by a mud flow, we still decided to stay here. And those dang poppies.
Those damn poppies.
Don't want to ever see poppies again.
We're gonna see
Poppies were
Grant
fine. It
wandering
was
the hills
poppy
with a
people.
torch.
I was there was so much traffic. I was trapped every weekend for a month. I couldn't even leave my house to go
I know.
anywhere on weekends. It was terrible.
They were running across the freeway to see
They
the poppies.
were, and
I
they'd
really
stay there
can't
all
believe-
day.
I
I go,
can't
how long
believe-
can you gawk at flowers? Just look at them and leave. They'd make a day of it.
It's
Grant,
the
you
flower,
should be a poet, Grant. That was beautiful.
though.
Really tear-jerking.
I was commuting to Corona during that time, and I thought I was gonna run over some poppy people myself because they were just like they were just running down the freeway. It was the mall parking lot. They had their blinker on, looking for a place to park. It was like, what is going on right here? It was very odd.
It was chaos and helter-skelter.
Did you guys have a valet system?
We tried. We tried a shuttle system at the outlet center. That pretty much got overrun. We tried to keep the roads clear. That didn't work. So when people got bit by rattlesnakes or injured, we had a hard time getting the emergency vehicles in. The worst part was with the roads clogged, we had a hard time getting the sanitation trucks in there for the porta toilets. That was problematic.
Oh, yeah.
All sorts of challenges.
Maybe it's like if we could get crowds like that to show up to some of our workshops, right? I guess we just need to put
Right?
we need to put poppies in the workshop or something.
We missed an opportunity. We could have done marketing at the shuttle stops and definitely showcase the city, but we were on such damage control because we got overrun so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had, we thought we were pretty well prepared. We just had no idea for the masses.
Right.
Everything, all the roads gridlocked, and it was a challenge.
Did you guys have an estimate of how many people per day showed up?
Oh, I think during the weekdays, it was like in the 40 to 50,000. I think on the weekend,
Wow.
it was 100,000. The only
Like
people
one
that were
exit,
happy
really.
were the restaurants. Everybody else was furious.
Yeah, and all of that was concentrated really on one exit.
Yeah, the Lake Street, Nichols, those two exits.
Mhm.
And yeah, some of the restaurants and retailers just made a killing, but the residents were pretty displeased.
So were the
So-
commuters. Ask me how I know.
Oh gosh, yes, going by Lake Street.
So Grant, besides obviously spending time with us during this most recent time, what's been the highlight of your career that you really enjoyed?
The highlight is just getting things done, bringing economic development, getting businesses open, getting applications entitled and processed, just leaving the city in a better place when you started. It's the highlight.
Favorite and worst favorite project or least favorite?
Least favorite project? Oh gosh.
He's retiring. He can say that.
Yeah.
You can't ask that question because then you have to answer it next.
He's not
Oh my
retiring.
God. I'd have to
Or favorite project?
think back.
There's so many.
There's so many, I hate to say it publicly, but when you're dealing with institutions that are protected by our LUPA, those are always a challenge.
They're protected by your what?
Our LUPA, Religious Land Use Protection Act,
Oh,
they think the higher authority is exempt from permits, rules, and regulations. Those are always a challenge.
So favorite project,
So,
which is a fair question, Gina. You can ask that one.
yeah, I think some of the, probably some of the specific plans, that's the good news, is we set the table for developers to do things in the downtown, over in Albert Hill. The downside is some of the developers haven't served the meals yet, but we've set the table. There's a golden opportunity like in Albert Hill for 8,000 homes and 4 million square feet of commercial industrial. Downtown, all sorts of mixed use opportunities, real flexible standards. Hopefully once the COVID passes, some of these landowners and property owners and developers will step up to the plate and deliver. We've done our part.
So
Their
speaking,
turn.
so Grant, speaking of meals, what's your favorite Lake Elsinore restaurant?
I like Stadium Pizza. I'm a pizza hound to the end.
No hesitation there.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that was fast.
They do have
fried
good pizza.
chicken pizza. It doesn't get any better than that.
They have good pizza.
Wow. So favorite shopping experience in Elsinore. Where do you like to go shopping? Don't say like a big and tall.
Over
That's
at the,
not.
over at the outlet store, because it's the only place in the county they have a big and tall. where
I
I
knew he was going to say
close.
big and tall.
I mean,
I'm right
I
there
don't get
with
to
you.
go to the mall because they don't have a 15 shoe or a 40 inseam or a 38 pants, so I have to go to the outlet to get some clothes. I keep hoping malls will upsize one of these years, but it hadn't happened yet.
Pun intended.
Yes.
Right.
mhm.
I have similar problems, Grant, but not quite as bad because I'm tall for a female and it's just hard to find. It's just not that easy. The world is made for like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah. It is. It's hard to believe my former profession, most of them were bigger. I was the little guy.
Oh, wow.
Went out every night getting beat up by
Was that on the Lakers or what?
Let's talk. Grant, tell the story about guarding Magic Johnson.
No, I never guarded him. I had a short tour with the Portland Trail Blazers. Yeah, most of them were bigger and more physical.
Wow.
And didn't like rookies looking to take their jobs.
How long did you play in the NBA?
Off and on for about a year and a half. I was out of 223 people selected, I was the 206 taken, so I wasn't a priority. But every time somebody got hurt, they'd call me in to fill the gap. Then when the starters got healthy, they didn't need me, and did a short stint over in Germany until I tore my knee and decided there had to be a better way to earn a living. And
Usually
fell into city government.
I can see how that works, yeah.
Sitting there in a cast looking through the classifieds, and I go, oh, permit technician, City of LA, I could do that. And that started my government career. Went to Parks and Rec, finance. I almost died of boredom in finance. And one day a community development director said, hey, you want to be a planner? I go, planner? What's a planner do? I can't even read a blueprint. Found my niche.
Awesome.
Very good. All right, so let's now switch a little bit. So Grant's gotten his, yes, we're going to switch a little bit. So Justin,
Part 2 of the hazing.
we're going to put you on the spot here. And why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
My name is Justin Kirk. I am a planner now, going on 15 years. Went to Sonoma State University and obtained my degrees there. Went to Chapman for my master's. So been working with GT for about 13 years. I'm a lifelong Orange County resident, born and raised there. I live in South Orange County still with my family. Active in Cub Scouts and baseball with my 2 younger sons, and Cub Master and head coach for baseball. But yeah, I've been here now, 5.5, almost 6 years with Grant. I got a call one day and he asked me if I was not enjoying that side of the mountain any longer. He had some interesting tidings or invitations for me. So came over here, this together 13 years or so. So that basically it fills or sums up what I've been doing. A lot of current planning experience, some advanced planning. Spent about 6 years as a management analyst as well, outside of planning, working for a water utility in San Juan as well.
I found when you're right-handed, San Juan is smarter than you and makes you look good. Steal him and bring him to this side of the mountain. It worked twice very well.
Very good.
I want to, you got 3 comments in here that I want to see if I can bring them all together. And this has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. But Cub Scouts, baseball in Lake Elsinore. One of the best memories I've ever had was my son got to go down and say play ball when he was a Cub Scout at the Elsinore Storm game. And so they have a Cub Scout night where they bring all the scouts together. And for whatever reason, out of all of the scouts in the room, they're in the stadium, they came up and said, hey, can you come down and do it? And that was like one of the greatest nights of my life. So thank you, Lake Elsinore, for making that such an awesome experience. That popped up on Facebook, which is an evil thing, by the way. And it popped up as like a memory from several years, like 5 or 6 years ago. And I saw that. I'm just about breaking into tears. Like that was such a great moment, and how the time has flied since then. So great experience in Lake Elsinore at the Storm game. Let's get those back going again.
Yes, very cool. We'd much rather have Storm baseball than COVID testing at the time, for sure.
Yeah, I would too.
Maybe next year, hopefully.
Gosh, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Justin.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah, Justin, welcome in. You think this is all fun and games now, but you have to listen to us for years and years of podcasting. It's going to be terrible.
Grant was asking me a couple days ago, he goes, so how much longer do you have left? And I'm like, 15 to 20 years. And his response was, "That sounds more like a prison sentence than duration of career." He goes, "Maybe don't describe it in 15 to 20.
Good behavior.
Yeah. So no, I'm in it for the long haul. I've enjoyed my time. It's a lot. Before working in San Juan, I worked for the city of San Francisco, and then before that in Cotati, which is a really small community in Sonoma County. And this has been my first experience working for a community that's actually growing and hasn't reached that kind of retention, and maintenance mode. So it's very exciting to work in a community like this, and then helping shift it from a bedroom community to a full circles community is a huge win. And so that dovetails nicely with economic development, because we're trying to get as much business attraction into the community, get more people in our community working at high priced jobs and good paying jobs, so our residential can keep growing. So it's a lot different than working in South Orange County, where everything's pretty much built out, and you seem to be able to make a good difference. And so following Grant over here, he kind of explained that pretty well. So it's been a wonderful experience to share that with him for the last 6 years. So.
Very cool.
Absolutely. And big shout out to you, Grant, because I think that changed when you talk about going from a bedroom community to really starting to be taken seriously as an economic driver. I think we can say that goes hand in hand with when you came over. And when you guys, for a long time, I think Lake Elsinore was that sleeping giant, but everybody knows they're not sleeping anymore, and that you guys are serious about growth and business attraction and retaining the businesses you have, and being a real kind of a driver for the region. So yeah, I think you walking away from this can do so with a head held high and very proud about the work you've done, because we all respect you a lot, and that's why we haze you so much.
Well said. No, it's gosh, the last 8 years of really, ever since Grant Yates came over and built the team, I was his first hire, and Justin stepped in as the entitlement king. He's entitled a 500,000 square foot sports complex, several shopping centers, hundreds, if not thousands, of homes, in several industrial parks, and we've still got a lot of dirt. So stay tuned. There's more coming.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, you weren't really a trailblazer till you came to Lake Elsinore.
You're right.
Wow.
So terrible.
No, they're just
I've been waiting all day for that.
Oh yeah. Yep. And now it happened.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Gina, we haven't heard anything out of you. Come on.
What? Grant already knows. Long ago, I already emailed him about how I felt about him.
That doesn't work on video podcast, Gina. The fact that you emailed him weeks ago doesn't mean anything right now.
You want to share your screen and show the email?
What?
Share your screen and share the email. I mean, that would at least help.
No, it was private. It was between
I'm
Grant.
just kidding.
No,
What
but
email was this?
being neighbors with Elsinore, we already have a great working rapport, just like with the rest of the cities here. But it's his demeanor. It's Grant's demeanor when you're dealing with something. And I remember, even from a personal side, it's like you'll ask a question and I'm like, no way. I know he's busy. He's running multiple departments and oversees a lot. And he's still Johnny on the spot with his emails. Always impressed me, and always so kind. And it's just your overall demeanor and the way that you handle it. And it's a lot to be sought after for us. We look up to you, Grant. And for somebody that's been in the field for a very long time, you really do set the bar high for the rest of us.
Thank you, Gina. Appreciate that.
And we look up to you because you're 6'8".
Oh, you guys, it's been a hell of a ride. Mostly good. Yeah, only Justin gets to see my bad demeanor behind the scenes.
Oh,
That's
poor
normal,
Justin.
though. That's
Yeah.
human. That's the human side of us, right? We all have that.
So Justin, what's the worst Grant story? There must be a bad Grant
Oh,
story in there
yeah.
somewhere. What's the worst Grant story you got?
Recording, by the way.
I've tried to think of what is either the most appropriate / least appropriate and funniest one. I think it was, we were sitting in a meeting, and it's always the small things, right? It's never a big project that has the controversy. It's a small temporary use permit with a bunch of people that are volunteers and they're trying to be helpful. They just don't know what they're doing. So we're sitting in this meeting and this woman, this was in San Juan, is just ranting and raving about how all these problems of this process and everything else. And Grant then goes into about a 5-minute just lurching forward at her. This poor woman starts to cry, and just he has the wherewithal to reach behind him to a bookshelf, grab a box of Kleenex, drop it in front of her, and then reposture himself and continue on as if nothing had changed. And this lady is just bawling because she was so upset, and he was just like, well, you did it on public property last year, you're doing it on private property. Obviously, there's going to be issues or differences with how we're going to permit it. And this lady is just trying to find words, and he just kept going because she was not the easiest person to deal with. And I think he was looking forward to giving a little bit of a spoonful of what she's been giving to staff. And what the most hilarious thing is just seeing him without breaking eye contact, reach back with his arm, grab a box of Kleenex, drop it in front of her, and just continue forwarding as if there was nothing. So it was that. I'm trying to think of if there was another even funnier one. I think there was one in the field where we were going out and someone was riding a horse in a creek bed, and Fish and Wildlife looks at him and goes, "Are you going to do anything about it?" "Nope, I like my job too much and I'm not the game warden here. Are you going to do anything about it?" The guy just goes, "No," and left it at that.
And it's always great when you have other municipalities to draw on, so it's not the current one. So that was
Oh, I know. I'm like racking my brain for good San Juan stories.
So Justin, this is what you're going to leave us with, that Grant makes old ladies cry.
Old ladies cry. Yep. Lady killer.
He has no remorse in that respect, but wants them to have a little bit of decorum. So at least put a box of Kleenex in front of them.
That's where that 86-inch wingspan comes into handy. When
Yeah.
It's not like that bookshelf was right next to him. It was 15 feet behind him, but he just reaches over with no problem.
It was in the next office.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
That was a pretty good one. No, it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. One of the funnier stories that I think we had a former director tell us about how different our styles are. It was our director, Steve Apple, and he goes to Grant. He goes, "Grant will you convey?" He goes, "You two convey very similar points, but Grant will tell someone, get in their face and just start yelling at them, and they'll get very confrontational." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, what do I do?" And they'll go, "Well, you've convinced them that they were wrong." After Grant makes them feel horrible. So continuing on the crying, got a very good rapport of good cop, bad cop apparently built in.
The team.
There was a little bit of expletives that go in the after work, discussion. So.
See, I knew there was going to be some F-bombs coming from Grant here somehow. This is last time. Come on. Don't leave us hanging, Grant.
Yeah.
No, they're all subliminal.
Yeah.
When you see his head hang down and you get the 3 shakes, that's just him counting the 3 so the F-bombs don't get dropped.
That's right.
That's when you just turn and run.
Yeah.
We've been through the wars, Justin and I, but a lot of good projects over the years.
Yeah.
More to come. This whole region's postured in a good spot once this COVID passes.
Yep.
I think we'll be all right.
Well, even with COVID, we're still seeing tons of interest in pre-applications for residential developments and then the commercial as well. I was hoping to maybe catch our breath. We're starting a general plan update. So I was hopeful, we get a little bit of a window, and it's just not slowing down for us. So
Yeah.
It's good to
hopefully
hear.
that continues a good trend. We get some nice new home stock and some more jobs in the community. So
a lot of commercial zoning entitlements in process. Everybody's setting the table for when it's time to build again.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Gina, Scott, Kim, Rob, you want to share anything last before we do a last final toast off to Grant here?
I'll just say one thing that, when you've been in this business for a long time, you see the projects come and go, right? And to some extent, you've seen enough industrial buildings, you've seen enough residential tracts, and it's the real joy is in the people you get to work with. And we all have people that we enjoy working with, and then you have those that you maybe enjoy less. And no, I'm not going to say that about Grant. He's one of the guys that, Grant, you've always been just such a pleasure to deal with. And it's like, you're always stepping up, like Gina said, you're always helpful, and you just say, let me see what I can do. And that is just such a wonderful thing to work with somebody like that, and you're always the same too. So that's such a great quality about you. And God bless you, man. Enjoy your retirement.
Yep. And I think what Rob's telling you after all this time is that out of everybody, you're his second favorite economic developer. And that's a big deal. I know, obviously I'm first, but I know out of the entire group to be second is really, you should be proud.
Ain't bad.
Yep. Not bad.
Hey, Scott, read the sign behind you.
That's what they've been telling me for a while.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, I'm going to miss you guys. It's been a good ride.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And of all the hats I've worn, I think I've enjoyed economic development the most, attracting business, growing them, retaining them. Some of the other hats like the code enforcement or the developer meetings could be a little challenging, but the economic is really rewarding. It's been good.
Well, and I think your background, where you've touched so many different departments, really prepared you to do economic development well, because you really understand how a city works. And it's clear anytime you talk to you, there's nothing that you're not very well versed in. So Grant, I just want to tell you in all sincerity, I respect the heck out of you. I'm going to miss seeing you around. And hopefully one day when there's restaurants that you're allowed to eat inside at, we can go out and grab a lunch.
Hey, sounds good. Appreciate that, Scott. But I'll be around. I'll see y'all around.
Very good. Well, Grant, again, cheers.
Enjoy
Enjoy your retirement.
Stiff apple juice.
That's my.
Hey, I'll appropriately do it with this.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Good job, Rob.
Very good.
Nice.
That's his second favorite mug. Just so you know. Second favorite. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for joining us. Thank you for letting us, honor Mr. Grant Taylor here today. We appreciate it. Join us again for one of our upcoming e-conversations. And thanks again, Grant. Congratulations. Enjoy the surf.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks, everybody. I miss you. We'll see you around.